say,
Weird final.
with me affiliating the commentary box for this first contest, it is the incomparable Dominic.
First frame, Zhou Yuelong to break.
Thank you very much, Phil. Very good morning, everybody. Exciting match in prospect for us here. Zhou Yuelong, a very steady player from China, very capable player. Against one of the most exciting players on the tour, Jack Lisowski from Cheltenham, lives near me. Practiced with him many times. One of the quickest players on the circuit, young Jack.
Needs to have a bounce back effect to assuage the disappointment of his exit from the World Grand Prix in Coventry last week.
Safety reply there from Zhou Yuelong. He's covered, it would appear, the left-hand half of the table with the blue, which makes the safety shot for Jack Lisowski very difficult. He's such a great potter, Jack. He may be forced to take one on here. Wow, what a start from Jack Lisowski. That's a terrific long red he's just knocked in there. Controlled the cue ball beautifully for the blue. Okay, he's a little straight on it, but to get the action on the cue ball here with so little effort was excellent. Now, does that black pot into the left corner?
6.
Oh, it does, and beautifully just again the cannon from Jack. This is a red hot start from him, and all of a sudden just look at the position of the reds and colours. Nowhere a chance to win the opening frame in rapid fire time. Just have a look at this clever cannon he plays here. Just stands perfectly into the red 4-ball. Cue ball just moves across with the red. Perfect
40.
position. If Jack can just remove that red away from the black, that'll make things even easier for him. I'm sure he'll look to do that in the next 3 or 4 shots.
$50.
He's really annoying, is Jack Lisowski, and I say that in the nicest possible fashion. Everyone in snooker knows that in terms of his ability, the sky really is the limit. But he does pull defeat from the jaws of victory on too regular an occasion.
22.
Case in point last week. In the first round of the World Grand Prix, he was involved in a mini classic against Mark Williams, came through 4-3 so attractively, and then was seemingly in control against Stephen Maguire in the last 16. Couldn't quite get the job done. Lisowski actually led 3-1 and 47-0. He missed a black off its spot and then unravelled.
$31.
Yeah, I think with Jack Lisowski, I wouldn't by any means say he's one-dimensional, he certainly isn't, but sometimes he doesn't think his way through a difficult sort of period of play in a match, or a frame that's a little bit untidy. He just sometimes takes the odd shot on that maybe he shouldn't and lose a frame, or His
38.
opponent can make a big break from a mistake that he doesn't really need to make. But there's no doubt of
39.
Jack's talent. I mean, he's a fantastic player to watch. Beautiful cue. It's very, very similar, I've always felt, to Ronnie O'Sullivan, the way he strikes a ball. Oh, goodness me, that had a long look before dropping. Could have been costly had that black just stayed up. Have a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and drops.
When it comes to snooker, if Mark Williams says something, you listen. Last week, after losing to Lisowski, Williams said he can't believe that Jack hasn't won not just a ranking title, but multiple ranking titles. He actually said he thought Lisowski hit the cue ball better than anyone in the game. Better than anyone he's ever seen. Now, what a ringing endorsement that is.
54.
So he's got to translate that talent
55.
into results. And what better place to start than now?
I've always thought this type of event would suit Jack because
62.
there aren't any ranking points involved. It's one of those tournaments you enjoy each other's company. You spend a lot of time together in the players' lounge, having
63.
food together at lunchtime and dinner time, and it's all very friendly, and I think it just helps to soothe any nerves.
$70. 71.
Well, with that red, Zhou Yuelong now requires snookers, but I don't think he'll be getting back to the table, and could we be witnessing a century break here in frame number 1?
78.
£500 on offer for the highest break of any group.
$79.
Still in good position. Of course, we're not playing on the usual star table here in the Championship Snooker League. It's played on a different brand of table called a Rasson. So conditions, although the pockets are templated exactly the same, cushions and... oh, he's missed the black. Well, never mind. Superb
79.
start from Jack Lisowski, that break of 79, and he takes the opening frame against young Zhou Yuelong. He's 1-0 ahead.
I was born for this. I was born for this. I was born for this. I was born for this.
Welcome back to the Championship League, and welcome back to Leicester, where Jack Lisowski has made an electric start. A break of 79, accounting for the first frame in no time. Over on table 2, which you can see on Matchroom.live, by the way. Graham Dott and Tom Ford still heavily involved in the first frame. 4 reds left. Dott leads by 21.
Xiao attempted that red there, but missed it by some way. The double kiss doesn't seem to have done too much obvious harm. I don't know if this red pots. No, just a safety. Oh, but it's a good one. Oh, it's absolutely nailed that. Green is covering the right-hand half of the table. Oh, he can just get through to this one to play a safety. Pretty good cue ball, but unfortunately, from Jack Lisowski's point of view, this red will cut into the corner pocket. Break of 79 has really kept young Zhou Yuelong a little cold. He hasn't got his cueing arm going at all just yet. Caught that one much too thick, but got away with it.
These two have met each other twice in the shootout, but that doesn't count for their official head-to-head, which is 1-1. Zhou won their most important meeting, 6-4, in the quarterfinals of the UK Championship last year. Lisowski prevailed 5-1 in the wildcard round of an event in China in 2013, when Zhou was only a teenager, 15 years of age.
Just played a great safety there, Jack. Played the very thin edge off that red that was to the left of the pink. Had to be perfect to not rattling the jaws of that corner pocket. It's hardly made a mistake yet, young Jack Lisowski. Now can Xiao just get past the black to attempt this red? Played a similar shot to this just a couple of minutes ago and caught it much too thickly. Now does it go? If it does, he can take the cue ball back towards bulk, and if it goes in, he'll be on the black. Must be very tight. Phil. Well, when you're 1-0 down, you could do that sort of run a ball, couldn't you?
It was the only one he could leave, and he's left a sitter. Mark my words, though, when it comes to making the group playoffs, I think Zhou will definitely be in the equation.
Thanks. One.
But cannoning the green, he was guaranteed to leave himself the right angle on this black. Once again, Jack finds himself at the table with the reds spread far and wide. But that little cannon to the red there may mean that getting onto the black in the left corner isn't possible now. Just needs one good positional shot because he can't play for that black from this red. Have to go probably for the blue. Oh, misjudged it, but that could have been a worse cannon. I just wonder what sort of an angle Jack has here on this red. I suppose he'd like to be able to screw back off the left-hand side cushion for position on the black, but it just depends on the angle. If it's too straight, you have to remain on the blue.
50.
These two have something in common.
20.
Nearly men when it comes to the top 16 at the moment. Lisowski
21.
17th. Zhou 18th.
$28. 29.
I wonder if Jack will screw into that little quartet of reds there to hold for red into the same pocket as the black. Oh, has it worked out? Has he just snuck in behind the red? I think he has. That could be end of break.
36.
Unfortunate, you have to say.
Lisowski 36.
Even though he's out of the top 16 now, he wasn't Lisowski after the UK Championship, so consequently he will have a big date at the Masters early in the new year. And it will be a very big date actually, because on Tuesday the 11th of January he takes on man of the moment Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Wow, miss. Zhou Yuelong 4.
Much better hitting it too thin or missing it altogether than catching it on the thick side. But he has left a chance here for Zhou Yuelong. It's not easy. Oh, he's knocked it in.
1.
First ball of the match for him.
5.
At first glance, this looks a very fast cloth.
6.
Nicely controlled from Zhou Yuelong. He'll probably stun down for the red that's on the top cushion next. It's easy to get onto. I preferred the one just above the black spot, but it's high enough up the table to gain position on the
13.
black from it.
14.
If he decides to play a little cannon into those 4 reds, he needs to be very careful. They could easily cover one another up. Yeah, it didn't work out well for Xiao, that one. It wasn't easy. They weren't well positioned, those reds, to play the cannon from the black there. I'm a little surprised he missed the pot. It
21.
wasn't too difficult, but positionally it was, and maybe that's the reason it went astray.
One.
And now this should be meat and drink for Lisowski. We've seen so often,
8.
while it's not imperative to get off to a good start in these Championship League groups, it is recommended.
9.
Can tell you, by the way, that Graham Dott won the opening frame against Tom Ford on table 2. Again, just to reiterate, if you want to see table 2 action, it's on matchroom.live.
16. 17.
'Just a couple more reds and colours required by Jack Lisowski to
23.
extend his lead to 2-0.
24. 30. 31. 38. 39.
Well, a couple of times Lisowski has played a pot into that particular bag that didn't seem in, but they've both dropped.
$46. Yeah, Jack Lisowski 46 on the frame. I'll just point you in the direction.
With breaks of 36 and 46, it is Lisowski who doubles his advantage. You know, they call Zhou Yuelong the jumping dragon. Well, here it's Jack who's jumped into a 2-0 lead.
I was born for this. I was born for. I was born for this. I was born for this. I was born for. I was born for this. Born for this. Born for this. Feel that fever, lightning strikes, dangerous like dynamite. Born for this.
The Bet Victor Championship League is underway. Jack Lisowski has made an agreeable start. He leads the dangerous Chinese player Zhou Yuelong 2-0.
Jack may attempt this red into the corner pocket. Oh, he's knocked that in as well.
One.
It's incredible when this young man's on form, he makes pots like that look just so rudimentary. It's incredible. Just overran for the black though, however. Plays his safety into bulk. He's just got to be careful not to leave that loose red to the left there, potable into the corner pocket.
Green ball. Jack Lisowski 1.
A very good effort from Zhou Yuelong. That was the problem, it was too good. It stayed within the confines of the pocket jaws. Oh, but Jack's missed it. Hasn't left the red that he took on there, but I think this other one may pass into the centre pocket.
One.
Given the bad luck he's experienced, you can only wish the best for Zhou Yuelong for the rest of the season. Couldn't quite force the angle there though.
6. Zhou Yuelong 6.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, had to miss World Championship. He also, earlier this year, had to miss the qualifiers for both the English and Scottish Opens because of COVID protocols. And I think almost certainly as a direct result of that, he missed out on being in the top 16 when the Masters cut-off took place. And almost equally galling was the fact on the one-year list before the World Grand Prix, he finished 33rd. So a good performance here would raise his spirits.
Once again, so early in the frame, the reds are spread beautifully, so one mistake could prove costly. Sounded like a bit of a kick, but the cue ball has run to the baulk cushion. Ooh, she tied the black up. No, it's still okay.
It's 2-0 on both tables. Graham Dott has just made a 71 break to extend his lead over Tom Ford.
Safety there from Zhou Yuelong. Choice of potable reds for Jack Lisowski, but the problem is getting to a colour from either of them. Certainly not guaranteed. Maybe a good safety shot here could be the order of the day. Every opportunity to get the cue ball in behind green and blue on the baulk cushion. Oh, caught that one a bit thick.
Wow. That was Lisowski for.
Well, in many respects, the pocket was the best place for that cue ball from Zhou's perspective. Had it jangled around in the jaws and been left in the business area of the table, that might have been very expensive. It could still be. But this opening pot is not easy. Unless you are Jack Lisowski.
Again, Phil, just look at the reaction he got out of the cue ball there. He was able to screw past that centre pocket with effortless ease. Just have a look at this. No power in that shot. It's just beautifully struck. Maximum backspin on the cue ball. He's got a good angle on the brown here. You can see the pink will pot into that left centre. Black for the time being seems to be tied up. This is still a very good start for Jack Lisowski in this first match here. This is a tournament that's been going since 2008. I think a lot of players enjoy playing in this particular event. As I say, there's no ranking points pressure at stake, but a lot of prize money on offer. Every frame that you win, you get £100 for.
5.
But what you're looking to do is to get into the top 4 after all the group matches. And you'll be in the straight knockout phase of the semi-finals, but Jack won't get to the semi-finals with missed pots like that.
Lisowski 5.
Will he be punished?
Well, I think that little brief visit to the table just underlined what Lisowski's all about. Cracking opening pot. Then a lack of concentration. He's freely admitted it himself. Needs to improve on concentration. He's actually been working with Peter Ebden on mental skills, and hopefully that will round him out.
1.
Zhou Yuelong can somehow get back onto the pink into the same pocket, he'd have an angle just to stun into those 4 reds to the left of it and bring them into play, but the positional aspect of the shot's quite tricky to judge. He's just asked referee Brendan Moore, haven't given him a mention this morning, referee Brendan Moore from Sheffield, lives just a couple of miles from the Crucible in fact, one of our top referees in charge of this one. Was just asked to respot the pink by Zhou Yuelong there because it's very important to him.
Eight.
Oh, that was a bonus. A plant was available there, so he was able to nudge the pink into a potable position for the opposite corner. But as you can see, these reds around the black spot, they're all covering one another.
$14. 15.
Zhou Yuelong made a very deep impact at a very young age. At 17, together with his 15-year-old partner, Yan Bingtao, he unbelievably won the World Cup. That was in 2015. One of snooker's great
21.
stories. Those 2 youngsters were representing China B. They were put into the tournament for experience purposes, and they ended up lifting the trophy. Oh, but today,
Zhou Yuelong, 21.
not in sync yet.
Yeah, it's the second time he's missed a red to this corner pocket, with that extra eye on the positional aspects of the shot. Just misjudged both, really. Sure Jack can get through to this, but can he get position on the pink?
One.
Goodness me, that cue ball looked as though it was stopping perfect position, but it just ran on that extra inch. But I wonder if he has an angle here just to run the cue ball into the reds and the black to try and develop a few of them.
Lisowski 1.
You heard the sigh from Lisowski. As soon as he hit the pink, he knew it was near jaw bound, and when that's the case, you can forget it.
Yeah, Yes, in cricketing terms, he clubbed it, just mistimed it, played it with just a little bit too much force, just lost the finesse of the strike of the ball, and that's why it went thick.
1.
I was telling you about Zhou's World Cup win, but that wasn't the first time he'd made an international impact. At the age of 15, he won the IBSF World Amateur Championship in Latvia, beating in the final Xiao Zintong, the recently crowned UK champion.
4. Green ball.
Just short of pace there for the
7.
red to the left corner. I wonder if he'll try and screw into the black here and knock it over that right corner. Oh no, hedged his bets, screwed off all those reds and the black,
8.
hoping to be on a bolt colour but not knowing he would be. He's on the pink, I think. This is a great chance now for Zhou Yuelong to reduce the deficit to a single frame.
14. $50.
I think it's fair to say that Zhou and Jack Lisowski
22.
are on the same shortlist, together with the
22.
likes of Dave Gilbert as well. They would be the 3 who you would say best players still waiting to win a world ranking event, until, of course, Gilbert won the ranking event Championship League at the start of this season. So now that list of 3 has gone down to 2. Maybe you would have to include Tom Ford as well. It's
26.
not a nice list to be on that. It's a compliment, yes, to say you're the best player still waiting to do something, because you're recognised, your talent is recognised. But it's also the implication that perhaps you should have won one already, certainly in the case of Lisowski.
Yes, Jack, I believe, has been in 5 ranking event finals and lost them all. Zhou Yuelong lost position
26.
a couple of shots ago and left himself a little awkward there. And if Jack Lisowski can get in with a good red here, that 42-point lead that Zhou Yuelong's amassed could quickly disappear. Sort of run of the ball that you need. I don't think this red will pass, will it? Can you see enough of it past the yellow to pot it? Does it pass the blue? He'll know. very tricky to judge, even if that red was past the blue. There's certainly not the whole of the pocket there to aim for, and playing the shot from behind the black spot area, this won't be as easy as it looks.
Zhou trying to get on the comeback trail.
1.
I can tell you on table 2, Tom Ford is. He controlled the third frame against Graham Dott, winning it by 65 points to 1. So Dott's lead reduced to 2-1.
Six.
Not the best positional shot, but Zhou is 48 ahead. 43 on the table. 2 snookers needed by Lisowski. And you can forget that
7.
now. Put this one in the books.
Thirteen. 14.
After losing to Stephen Maguire from well in front last week at the World Grand Prix, Jack Lisowski said, throughout my career I've had problems putting matches to bed. Will he have problems putting this one to bed, you wonder?
21. 23. 26. 30. 35. 41. Frame. Zhou Yuelong.
He's dedicated and he's gritty, is Zhou Yuelong. 2-1 down, do not write off his chances. Lisowski still to put the icing on this. More after the break.
I was born for this. I was born for. I was born for this. I was born for this. I was born for. I was born for this. Born for this. Born for this. Even lightning strikes, dangerous like dynamite. Born for this.
before the pandemic hit, Zhou had a really good spell. Got to his first ever world ranking event final in the European Masters in Austria. And then very shortly afterwards, he got to the shootout final, losing out to Michael Holt. His experience in Austria was very positive, apart from the way it finished in that European Masters final. He lost. No, he was whitewashed 9-0 by Neil Robertson. It's a real rarity, Dominic, isn't it, to be whitewashed in a two-session final?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. It's never happened to me, thank goodness, but you'd feel like a bit of a lost soul out there. It's a very lonely place when you're sat in your chair and your opponent's doing all the work. TV cameras upon you, a big audience. It's so disappointing in such a major final as well, when it does happen. But it has on many occasions.
16.
So straight on that red, couldn't really get position on the blue. It's a thin one, this, it could easily be missed. Decided to play it into the corner pocket for positional reasons and played it very well if his cue ball stops.
$21.
Dom just turned off the microphones, looked at me and said, whitewashes in ranking event finals over two sessions, it's not happened on many occasions, has it?
22.
And I told him no, it hadn't. Of course, Steve Davis very cruelly defeated Dean Reynolds 10-0. But those kind of thumping defeats arrive once in a blue moon.
Yes, I forgot that we were talking about finals, because of course whitewashes do occur frequently enough, but certainly not in major finals. Now you saw there Zhou Yuelong imparted a great deal of pace into the cue ball there to try and screw through the pack of reds, but not a lot happened. The cue ball didn't seem to go anywhere. But he is still on a red. He's missed two similar cutbacks to this corner. Would you believe it? He's missed a third.
Zhou Yuelong, 28.
Well, this will interest me because this red looks rather straight to me, and Jack will have to try and get a lot of action on the cue ball here to try and get up the table for pink or blue or bolt colour. Because that black's tied up. Let's see what he can do here. If he can play for the pink into the left centre, all well and good. No, he's tried to give it everything, and again, didn't get a great deal of movement out the cue ball. In fact, it came off the side cushion and into the pack of reds, and he's snookered on everything now. He really did have to throw his cue into this. Well, it shouldn't be a problem to play up the table for the yellow.
Foul, miss. Lisowski 1. Zhou Yuelong 4. Back.
Apart from the 4 points given away, no real harm done. Even if he does hit the yellow full ball, there's no way that Zhou Yuelong would take the loose red on to the left of the pink there. This looks better.
Just talking about those rare whitewashes in big finals. The Steve Davis 10-0 over Dean Reynolds was in the 89 Rothmans Grand Prix. And although it wasn't a ranking event, Davis also beaten Mike Hallett 9-0 in the final of the 1988 Masters. We have our first result of the day. I can tell you on table 2, Graham Dott, the king of the Crucible in 2006, has beaten Tom Ford 3-1, finished off with a break of 65.
One.
Wow, that was a superb pot from Jack Lisowski. Just stroked it in beautifully. There wasn't a safety shot on for him there, really. But this pink is equally difficult because it's important. Oh, he's got that too. So all of a sudden, a great chance. And I think that black may pot into the left corner at some point if he wants to get onto it.
7. Eight.
This is a chance that Jack was really craving to put this match to bed.
14.
He's judged the positional aspect of that shot perfectly. I think he can play for the red now into the right corner and hold for the black in the left. He's just having a look to see if that black actually pots. If it doesn't, then he'll have to pot this red into the left corner first.
$15.
Well, he's left himself a very useful angle on this red to the right corner here, Jack. He can just stun up a few
21.
inches, leave himself high on the black, and then he'll be able to just dislodge those two reds that are stuck together there to the right of the black. That should open everything up.
22.
Is it too thin to cut back?
29.
It's certainly not worked out how he planned or hoped.
Does look very thin. I don't think that will cut in. But if you could somehow leave the cue ball as close as possible to the blue, it could make cueing very awkward for Zhou Yuelong.
That was Lisowski. 29.
Just the 2 points between the players here, so this safety exchange is of critical importance. I'll be surprised if Jack doesn't take a pot on here. It's just awkward cueing. Sometimes the cue ball can be just a certain distance from a cushion to make it awkward to place your hand. Well, that's brilliant from Jack Lisowski. Look at the pressure heaped upon himself there by the way he played that shot. He was leaving everything on had that not gone in.
What struck me was the way he got through the cue ball. There was no hint of jab. He went straight through the white with the cue. Technically, this was sweet. And so was the kiss. That could well be decisive.
Yes, I feel that fully deserves to win the match for him.
9.
If he can just drop this black in slowly for the red next to it into the opposite corner. Well, I was able to screw into it, in fact, so a choice of both of these reds now along the top cushion. Lead of 14 points.
16.
So he is going to need that tricky red near that right hand side cushion. Oh, that's gone wrong. Not high enough up on the black here, so I don't know if he can hold for a red into this right corner, the one that's below the cue ball. Does have other choices. He could leave the cue ball above the black and play a thin one. Could even consider the pink into the left centre to play for the red along that side cushion there.
One thing I hope he doesn't do is play on the red on the side cushion and play it right-handed, because on several occasions that has let him down. The second match of the day, just breaking off on table 2. Couple of very heavy scorers. Ryan Day against Liang Wenbo.
Well, he had no problem there with the black to drop in behind this red.
24.
He had too much of an angle on it. It's in.
25.
Well, he did play it right-handed. It was a very rudimentary shot, though, in terms of the pace. And so, Dominic, this is frame and match ball.
32.
Yes, it certainly is. Got in with that terrific long red.
33.
Stunned beautifully into another ball to hold position on the black. And this is a result of frame and match winning clearance. Snooker already required by Zhou Yuelong. Well, how has he missed the blue? One snooker to tie.
33.
This frame's still very much alive.
I can't quite believe that.
Nor can Zhou Yuelong. I'm sure he thought this match was over. It may well still be in a few minutes' time, but certainly there'll be reason to continue. Just one snooker to tie.
Thanks.
And look at yesterday, the final, really. Okay, it had several turning points, but the World Grand Prix final between Robertson and O'Sullivan, in many respects, will be remembered for what O'Sullivan did in the closing frame of the afternoon. 41 behind with 35 on, and he got 2 absolutely
Zhou Yuelong 2.
belting snookers. Ended up winning the frame with a 39 clearance on the final black. not very common to win a frame after needing a couple of snookers, but if you need one, there is still a chance.
I suppose there are players in a situation like this that would consider potting green and brown and try and get the snooker on the blue, because one snooker then would be enough to win the frame without the aid of a respotted black. But considering the position of the colours, I don't know if that'd be a prudent thing to do or not. Chance here to maybe stun the cue ball in behind the blue here from the brown. But Zhou Yuelong has that choice to make here. Does he pot the brown? Oh, he has done so. One snooker to win now on the blue. But less snookering balls.
I'm surprised as well where the blue was. It was really good to lay not just a snooker but a really good one as well. I think it's one of those situations where it's all about personal choice, how you feel.
Zhou Yuelong, 7.
You could really see that cue ball skidding off the side cushions there. That made it impossible to get in behind the black. I'm sure Jack Lisowski now will try and leave that cue ball near a cushion, the blue over pockets, wherever he can. This looks a rather inventive shot. Not played, but nearly did the job.
Will this come back to bite Lisowski? Can't quite finish the job.
Again, that cue ball just skidding off the side cushion, and when that happens, the speed of the cue ball is greatly reduced. Oh, where's the cue ball going here? My goodness, Jack. Dicing with death there.
Yeah, rule 1, when your opponent needs a snooker, do not take the cue ball anywhere near a pocket. That's the cardinal sin. Well, now
5.
The blue is in, so this is last chance saloon. It's behind the black or nothing.
Tell you something though, Phil, could scarcely have put that cue ball in a better position with his hand. How's the pace? The line will always be good. Oh, it's just too hard.
Zhou Yuelong, 5.
Another half chance here of a snooker if he can just avoid the double kiss. Oh, this looks good. This looks great. What a shot that is.
The proximity of the pink to the bulk cushion should make this relatively simple to hit. Right now, Lisowski just wants to stumble over the line and start thinking about Gary Wilson next.
Couldn't really have struck that pink any better. Jack Lisowski, he's nudged it towards the corner pocket. It's going to be very difficult to do much with this.
Thanks.
Folks always say, just roll the ball over the pocket. It's easier said than done.
Oh, it's another terrific effort from Zhou Yuelong. The line was just a fraction out.
Lisowski quickly went into a 2-0 lead, made a 79 break in the first frame. But victory is being delayed.
I wonder if Jack can just slowly double the pink to the left centre here.
And Zhou's problem basically is his ability to lay snookers is so limited with just a couple of balls on the table. That's the problem when you get down to pink and black. But he's still doing it. What an effort.
Oh, that is a superb shot from Zhou Yuelong, and this time the pink, as you can see, there's a good 12 or 14 inches around the back of it. Oh, and he's missed it.
Wow.
Well, there you go. Snooker got. Frame
Very long set.
very much in play, and this pink is cuttable.
Yes, a miss couldn't be called because snookers were required. Now though, the frame transformed.
Oh, Jack would have been watching that so nervously. It's incredible how quickly and easily a frame and a match can turn. And Jack now is under pressure with this safety shot here. And that's not one of his best. Again, this pink will cut in, but it is very thin. Every chance that cube will find one of the centre pockets, it's not going to be easy.
And when you think he was almost home and dry and he missed that most simple blue hanging over the pocket.
He'll do so well here to get anywhere near the black. It's too thin. The pot's very makeable, but it's so thin. I don't think there's a chance he can get on the black. Quite right, I think, refusing it.
Good thing for Lisowski here. He can use the the pink. Go into the black, that's right, hold it in place. And a good white in addition.
Just a touch of evidence that cue ball's tending to drift towards the middle of the table just slightly when shots are played from distance slowly. So Zhou Yuelong had to be a bit careful there. Could have easily chipped it across that corner pocket, but he's played it pretty well.
Unnecessary mental and nervous energy being expended by Jack Lisowski here. He knows full well this frame should have been wrapped up already.
I wonder if Jack may attempt to get the cue ball in behind the black here and leave that pink near that right side cushion. Oh, he's caught it too thickly. Played what I suggested. Has he been fortunate? Oh my goodness, he has. Well, maybe that pink will snick into the right corner. It's very thin, but if it goes in, great chance to take us into a deciding frame.
Well, if it does go, it's still a truly horrible shot. Lisowski got away with one there, didn't he? All that work to get the snooker, and then luck intervenes, and he's got the simplest pot imaginable.
6 so much.
Jack
That was
Lisowski
actually-
dodged a bullet in that frame, let me tell you. He
Jackson
wins
next.
by
Yeah.
3 frames to 1. Zhou Yuelong has lost his first match in this Group 1 of the Bedford Championship League, but Jack Lisowski is off. I think it's a stretch to say to a flyer, but off to a pretty good start.
There will be, but you're